So the first one is.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Just talking to him, was ready to throw you into the bus.
So this is a return from last week.
Yeah, I think this is the one that's a monstrous rectangle.
Yes.
It looks like it's a brand new house, like brand new.
It's a brand new residence,
And
and
with this huge monolithic, not great window pattern.
the board had suggested adding a window to the second floor front elevation. We distribute the other two windows, which the architect agreed. The board also suggested switching the first floor bathroom, walk-in closet, and guest room to add a window on the first floor side elevation. And the board questioned the front garage and suggested moving the doors to the side of the garage. The board stated that the house seemed flat and suggested adding bump outs to give the house more depth and add more articulation to create shadow lines. So that was last meeting. This was last meeting.
This is the last one. This is
Yes, that's from the last meeting.
It's more of a rectangle now. This is literally perfect rectangle. There was no
Hi,
change.
Vladimir.
No,
Oh.
just some facial. Yeah.
I'm just gonna close the door though, because there's another meeting going on.
You want to do that?
I'm sorry?
So I got rid of
I mean, it's not out of the way, anybody can come in.
the room. Yeah, it's so fine.
Okay, can you walk us through your changes, please?
Sure. Yeah, so we added a window to the front of the house to align with the window below it. We also added the window to the side of the house. So there's an even arrangement of windows. We previously had a forward-facing gable next to the garage, and we got rid of that. So now the house is just rectangular. And as far as the garage door goes, because of the topography, the site was engineered in a way that the driveway had to come to this side of the house. So that's why the garage door is there.
It still looks like a perfect rectangle. Is there no articulation whatsoever?
Yeah, no, it's a rectangle, correct.
Did you look at breaking up the boxes that was suggested to you?
No, we didn't. Instead of that, we just got rid of the gable.
It's just
It wouldn't be this something here.
so we added. Yeah, but this one wasn't. Oh, it was there.
Yeah, something that look like a staircase. Otherwise, it looks like what happened in Washington. Yeah.
This is.
Oh, sure.
Let's see what these windows go.
Do all the windows have trim around them? It seems like the section where you took the gable out, it doesn't look like it has a similar trim, that kind of the little cap trim on the top.
You're right. Yeah, no, you're right. That's a graphical error. All the windows have the same detail on them.
The same molding and trim and
yeah, the same cab detail, correct?
Yeah.
Did you look at doing any window treatment in the staircase to maybe reflect it at the staircase? It just looks now like it's a uniform, reasonably uniform facade, but there's like a, just blanket on it.
Was there a second floor elevation?
In the rhythm.
I mean, plan? Maybe.
Does that bother you? The rhythm here?
It looks like it's not in this, I could share the second floor. with
Is
you.
it in the old?
It's in the old set, yeah.
I think it's in the old size.
It is in the old set.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know, but.
Still worried about this. It's something I can't get the thing rid of it.
It just seems like a lot of windows.
Oh, but it's not even in a, no
And well, that's what I'm trying to figure out
Well,
what the rooms
it
are.
tends to kind of look like a colonial almost now.
Yeah.
So there needs to be, I mean, it was the thought that they were kind of going towards a colonial style. I mean, to me, it kind of looks like a colonial style, so like some of the window patterns are a little not as symmetrical as what a true colonial style might be.
I wouldn't assign any style to this house, so yes, it's, the rectangle may
Any style to the house.
rectangle, but no, that wasn't the intention.
Okay.
Again, you're building a brand new house, so you have all sorts of flexibility and you've got this giant flat facade in the front. I think it's better without, I personally think it's better without the gable.
Yeah.
But why can't you get a window pattern that's, you know, symmetrical or rhythmic or, you know, it's like different spacing on the left, different spacing on the right, a blank spot. You know, the doors off center, I guess I'm okay with it, but why can't you get the window pattern to have a normal rhythm?
I think that's because it works better in the actual space inside.
But it's a brand new house, and you have incredible flexibility on how you do that.
One of them, yeah. Bathroom.
Well,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I think that's the issue, right? That, and it's a little disappointing that the comments about articulating the facade more were completely ignored, right? I mean, as Bob said, this is brand new house built from the ground up. It shouldn't be constrained to be a perfect rectangle. It shouldn't have weird rhythms of windows and doors. I mean, I don't know what more we can say at this point, but there seems to be a lot of flexibility to make a better design here.
what's wrong with a rectangle? It's an austere, modern looking house. Why is the
Well, as Bob said, this is
Why
an
does it need to be
improvement over what you
articulated?
presented last time, but, you know, given that that was a comment made last time, it is still a bit jarring that no attempt was made to, and it's not an austere modern house, as you said, it's hard to categorize it, but board members were thinking this looks more like a colonial. I mean,
You got a flat 100-foot wall for the front and back facades.
this isn't a one-story Cape Cod cottage.
Yeah, I thought that, I wasn't here last week, and when I looked at this, I thought it was an addition to a rectangular box. Like a second floor addition to a rectangular box. I didn't know it was a new house, so yeah, I'm pretty surprised that it's just what it is. There is no articulation to the massing. You've popped up a rectangle. You've got the garage on the same facade plane as the house. You know, there's no attempt to play with what's forward and backward to get some sense of hierarchy in the facade or the roof. And your roof plan on the last plan was wrong. It didn't match the elevation. So
but it's right on the new plan.
okay.
It would be hard not to be.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, you can alter the floor. Well, I'm sorry, is this for a developer or is this for a family?
For a family.
So you can you know, play with the spaces inside to get different window patterns. You can.
We're not going to reconfigure the floor plan just so the window pattern can work on the exterior of the house.
Right. Well, we're here for the exterior.
Why not?
Yeah.
Most architects do that. They take the inside and the outside and they make it work as a unified composition.
Yeah, but not in this case. The floor plan is set. The clients are happy with it. We're not going to reconfigure it because to get a regular window pattern.
But they're sharing this gigantic facade with an irregular rhythm with the public, and maybe you should think about it.
With what public?
With everybody who sees the house.
Well, I could share the site plan with you. No one is going to see the house. It's in the middle of the woods.
There's no leaves in 4 or 5 months of the year.
Yeah, but it's a heavily wooded area. No one is going to see the house. No one's going to pay attention.
Well, it should still be attractive.
Well, I mean,
Regardless
that's subjective. The owners of the house like the house the way it is. They don't want any articulation. They don't want to do any bump outs. They like the floor plan. They're set on it. So, you know, they're happy.
I mean, that's fair enough, but they need approvals to proceed with this, so
The architects
I'm telling you what it will take.
No, I understand. I'm just answering your objections about it. Not, you know, people seeing the house. No one's going to see the house, but the owner.
But maybe you should bring the client to the next meeting and we can have a discussion with them too. But the board, you know, the board doesn't support what you're presenting.
So tell me specifically the objections. So
the flat facade and the window pattern, I think are the two big ones.
Okay, so the window pattern. So you want to see a more of a regular spacing in between the windows?
Well, we don't
Yeah, I
want to
think
tell
it
you
just-
what to do.
it
but I
looks
don't
too
think-
clustered and
Well-
not thought through.
I can't make changes to the house if I don't understand what the objections are.
The objections are to the window pattern being very irregular for a simplistic and very long and flat box.
Okay. Got it.
You know, on the right side of the house, again, you've got this giant window on the second floor. It looks like it's the bathroom or something. Again, it you know, looks kind of odd to me why it's so different. The back, should we look at the back of it? The back doesn't have so yeah.
Right, right.
So are we just talking about the window pattern?
So the window pattern and the lack of articulation in the building, it's
Well,
100 and something feet long.
I think from the comments from the first thing, the board stated the house seemed flat, suggested adding bump outs and to give the house more depth and adding more articulation to create shadow lines. I think 95% of the things still hold true from the first review.
That's fine. So we will work on the window configuration, but we're not changing the rectangular house. We're not going to do bump outs of any sort. This is the way the house is going to be. It's going to be a rectangle.
Might not get approval from the architecture review board though.
Well, but I don't understand that. Well, I don't understand why you can't have a rectangular house. Why does it need to
Because
have
of the size and the scale.
There is articulation. There's a front portico that comes out. There is a small roof detail over the mudroom entrance. So, you know, what's wrong with a rectangular house?
I think as Bob just described, given the scale of it, there are comments made about this rectangular house. No one's making a statement that no rectangular houses can be built in Newcastle, but we've twice now given feedback about this rectangular house. And if the client wants to avoid further back and forths, it would probably behoove them to consider that feedback.
They might want to come to the next meeting. It might be helpful for you.
Yeah, I'm still not clear the issue with having a rectangular house.
How long is the front facade? How many feet long from the edge of the garage to the edge of the house? Looks like it's well over 100 feet.
63 feet.
No, including the garage,
No, with the garage is 87 feet.
pretty long for it to be completely flat.
As Stanley mentioned earlier, you can put the garage on a different plane. That's one step, probably not the only step in my opinion to improve it, but that's one thing that gets you some articulation. And I think you guys just need to have a conversation and revisit this. It's not going to impact cost much, and it's going to improve the look.
Okay, I will take these comments back to my client and we'll see what happens next week, next time.
The next meeting is January 3rd. The deadline for that is December 27th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Night.
Yeah, I don't know, my client seems to be pretty good architect, and I don't think there's a client.
What?
I don't think there's a client.
Well, there
Builder.
is, there's
There's a builder. Yeah.
no. There, this is a shingle house, right?
It is mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, it's this Valjean.
Oh, is it?
There's
Right on the drawing, it just says new residence.
Yeah, I know, but
Doesn't
it's,
say.
there's a,
Michael Picarella goes to work. I think so.
Next application is Mary Scott. Here are pictures.
You see her?
I can share my screen.
where's Evergreen?
It is just sharing the screen. It's off 117. It's the first left after you go north from King Street.
Oh,
Little Street, you know, little dead end. Here's, we'll make this bigger. So here's Evergreen. Let's see, here's 117. So opposite Spalding.
Okay.
oh, okay.
So, and the next one is Orchard Ridge. So the Congregational Church is over here. No,
Got it.
close to that. So anyway, this is it. It was, I think originally built in the 40s, and then there was work done on it in the 80s. But kind of, it was originally a cape with 2 dormers on top, and the last project had increased the dormer to a shed in the front. This is the side with the garage. There's a garage, kind of undersized 2-car garage, and a screen porch. And the project is to expand the garage and then also create a family room where the screen porch is and continuing out into the yard somewhat. So this is the back of the screen porch, in the back of the house, a blocky good dormer. These are the neighbors. That's on one side. This is across the street. This is a house on Bedford Road, which has been doing a huge addition. And that's kind of what they look at from Evergreen. And this is the neighbor on the other side. So what we're proposing to do, looking for my, oh there, okay. So here's the existing basement, just to see the foundation plan. The existing garage is here, so we're expanding the garage out, and we're creating the family room in the back, and then we're doing a primary suite above. So smaller. So this is the site plan. We need a variance. We're going at the end of January. We need a sum of side yards variance, and then a front yard. So floor plan, existing living room, kitchen, dining, and then new family room, new garage. Front. So trying to break the scale down, and they didn't need a second floor that was as big as the first floor. So by pushing back in the front and on the sides and kind of creating this dormer look, it kind of pulls it more into scale. A little articulation, speaking of articulation. And, you know, windows matching. We were actually doing the 8/8 in the front here. Then we're switching to 6/6 on the sides and back. 2-car garage with you know, carriage house style doors, windows above in the primary suite, and then the sunroom, well, family room, we want to be like a sunroom. So we have the large pairs of windows with panels underneath. In the back, this is the bedroom above. We needed a little bit of wall space for a TV with the windows on either side. And then this is a new deck we're adding. So from the other side, what you see is this is the extension for the garage, and this is the extension for the family room and in the bedroom and bathroom above. So back.
Mary, can you go down first?
Sure.
Thanks. So you're just gonna have shutters on the
Yeah.
stairs?
Yeah, what's the rationale with some have and some don't, and some are
Say that
proportional
again,
and some
I'm sorry.
aren't?
The shutters.
Some have it and some don't, some are proportional and
The
some are
front.
not proportional.
Well, this is existing.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
my guess is we'll end up taking these off.
oh,
And then on the new, I mean, there's no way I could put shutters on these windows.
so
So
you'll just take the other ones off?
we
the old
can take
ones
these off.
Okay.
We're actually residing, and so I'm sure that'll be the first thing that'll happen.
And what about the front elevation?
So the front, we keep the shutters and add new shutters
Mhm.
on these windows.
And the double and triple in the front, outside the front door, they already have it now, that's
These
existing?
exist, yeah.
No.
I
No,
know.
they're not,
No,
they're
they're
not existing,
Wait,
at least on your photo, they're not.
the front? Oh, my mistake. Because this is the brick. Yeah, I'll take them off.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I only support when they're proportional, when they're not proportional.
Yeah, no, and I know
That's me.
that's
So
a
it's removal
sensitive.
of all shutters?
Excuse me?
Removal of all shutters?
No.
No, just the
No,
ones.
just
It's
the
the ones
three
that are
first
not there
floor
now
existing-
on,
Existing front elevation.
and you know, you can kind of justify this because this is brick.
Mhm.
All right, so you're taking off on the ones that are not proportional, or just on the front, or?
Yeah, just, I mean, we don't have them anyplace else.
Yeah, it's just on the front.
It's just the front.
We
And
have them on the rear elevation.
they're existing. We'll take them off.
Yeah, she's taking,
Okay, all right, so taking off all the shutters. Okay, otherwise looks very nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay,
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
I think that's
Have a
good.
good evening.
You were the last time, too. First, I don't know if I've seen you before.
Can I give Michael a call and say, hey? Not a place to do that?
Not really a place to do that, although if he comes in next week and it's
He's
the
here.
same thing, then
Yeah.
then I think we can suggest that before time goes by.
That's fine with me.
Oh, yeah, we
You
don't
don't have
have to
long
get
enough on?
you like person to person.
into that.
It's been a while.
Tim, I found your CD again.
You did.
It was in the back
Because
of
I
the
started looking at my
file.
car, did I drop it, is
I
it
know it's gonna
upside?
drive you crazy, but I found it.
Are you on the screen also?
I will be on the screen, in a minute. Am I good to share, Daisy?
Oh, is that what you did?
I don't know, oh, you can, okay.
He's hacked in.
That's a first.
But you might have to
Okay,
turn yourself on.
turn the sound off on that one.
Where's my? That's it. All right, guys. So. Here we are, this is King Street here. Buck Pond is down there, Meadow Lane is up on the left, the road's in. My lot that I'm working on is right here on the corner. This is what the front of the house looks like from the street right now. A couple of neighbors, still like ranch here, expanded ranch to the right, and a colonial kind of across the street. So what we're gonna do here is some work off the front of the house and a new second floor. The pink areas where we're adding on the front, the first thing you'd be seeing would be an addition to the mudroom, then an addition to the dining room, then a front porch, actually two porches. There's a porch into the mudroom and then another main porch that goes into new entryway. So there's the existing floor plan. There's a tiny little nothing mudroom. There's no porch here. There's no porch here. It's got the classic 1950s bay window that is prevalent throughout town. So what we're gonna do, I'll just run through the floor plans quick. First is there's the mudroom extension, side porch. We're actually gonna make it so that that entrance is only visible from the driveway. And I put a window here, so I have some symmetry on the front of the house, which you'll see in a minute. This new covered area gives plenty of nice protection from the elements, and now you can come into kind of at least a semi-defined space rather than walking directly into this living room like you do now. I'm also getting rid of that bow window and squaring it off to a rectangular style. And going up on a new second floor, we're moving a bedroom up here with a small office space and a bathroom and a closet in the back. All the roof lines in the back of the house and the exterior facades of the back are going to remain. Stanley?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does it match the elevation?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You'll never see my drawings not match in this
Okay.
place, ever. So here we go with the existing front elevation. You can see we've got some very interesting details. The shutters, getting rid of them, all of them. So we're creating some new interesting lines, roof lines. There's depth of character all over. The first floor projects out. The second floor has two different planes. The master bedroom comes out here. Then we have a secondary gable in the back. This is the window that's kind of a false, it's a real window, but it's not going to an inside space, it's going to a porch. We created a gabled entrance at the front to give it some identity. And here's the squared off boxed bay that we're gonna have now. Party siding, 5/4 by 4 casings all around, 5/4 by 6 corners. Anderson windows with simulated divided lights. And coming around the back of the house, this is what it is now. Very interesting. We are going to change all the windows so that we can have a consistent pattern of grills. But there's still some really nice south-facing roof left here for maybe some solar panels. This is an attic space that's going to be facing the back.
What's in the blank space? What's behind the blank spot?
What's that?
What's behind the blank spot in the rear facade?
This?
First floor.
I'm just showing potential solar
No,
panels.
first
No, I
floor.
was talking about
first
here.
Oh,
floor.
here?
What's in there?
This is a garage right here, and this is a finished basement. It's exactly what it is today, I'm just changing out the windows. And there's actually a shed right here, you can see it in the pictures. Driveway side, this is the existing elevation. The garage does bump out a few feet. So we are leaving that. Hopefully we're getting a new door. But here's the siding and window arrangement. This is an existing window into the kitchen. We're just gonna add a grill into it. This is the mudroom window. This is the, mudroom entry porch over here.
That's okay.
And so you're seeing, these are the setback gable, the front gable that projects out from the master over here. And this is the side that's kind of visible from the street, but that's this is our existing window. Sorry guys. This is it here. Okay, so right now this front eave line comes down lower than it does on the back, and it's because it's a front to back split, so it made sense that that's how they had an 8-foot wall here. That's the 8-foot wall on the back of the house, but it does look kind of awkward. So what I'm going to do is actually raise this section of roof. I can now get like a 9-foot ceiling in this living room, and now I have a equal eave line on the front and back. And then this is the windows at the tub in the main bathroom. The new roof lines, chimney extension will just be the brick. This is the front porch extension, and this is the part where you're actually going to be inside. That's it.
It's nice. I like how you have the photos from the existing photos.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a while, Stanley. I'm trying to make it easy for me.
Really, no, really, man,
It's just so much easier.
we should make it a standard, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
You've been reading your writings.
Yeah. Okay.
Looks
Nicely
good.
done.
Yeah.
Good detail.
It's awesome. Great.
Good
Thank you,
luck,
guys.
How much square footage are you?
An amount to barely need fire sprinklers, but not have a problem with my septic. I think it's about like 700 to 800 square feet, something like that. Yeah. But huge,
No, but it's gonna make.
nice dramatic change.
It'll be a new house.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next month, probably. Yeah, try out.
Hi, Tim. These are pictures. This is 20 Cary Lane. Okay. And who's on for 20 Cary?
Hi there, my name is Natalie Brain and I'm with Garrison Foundry and I'll be reviewing 20 Cary with you guys. And I can share my screen if that's helpful as well.
Sure.
I don't know. Is this a new house or a renovation?
It's a renovation. Guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. So we are working on a house located at 20 Cary Lane, which is off of Roaring Brook Road. And here's an aerial view, fairly set back off of 20 Cary, and has a pond at the back. Here's the existing front of the house. It's a colonial style. It's currently a 3-bedroom colonial style house. There's a view of entering the driveway from 20 Cary Lane as you come down. Here is a view of the side of the house, north side, and this is the south side of the house and the back of the garage as well. So here is the back of the garage, and this is the here is the scene photo of the house from the back backyard, where there's an existing deck out the back and some steps, and then the pond is kind of like behind. Here are the neighbors across the way and up the hill. There's a few sort of modern, sort of mid-century one-level homes around, and then this is, if you see right up here into the trees, there's a neighbor off to the side. We're looking across the street. as well as a couple of other images of the houses from the street as well, down the street. And what we're proposing is the client was looking to enhance the interior living space through a few sort of relatively small gestures, which kind of touch on they touch on each side of the house. But let me know if it gets a little confusing because it's not necessarily one big addition that we're looking after. It's a few sort of small gestures, expanding the house and making the living space more user-friendly for the clients, as well as enhancing the existing exterior through some more decorative eaves returns. And we are going to be replacing all of the windows and siding. We're proposing new clear cedar shingles for the siding. And the windows to be replaced are divided lights above and clear below, just to try and enhance that indoor-outdoor experience because they have such a beautiful view to the pond out the back of their house. I will share the set of drawings with you now. Bear with me. Here's the architectural set of drawings, and these are the existing elevations. So here we have a fairly traditional sort of colonial style home with the front porch with the door kind of off center, a covered front porch. And this is the existing garage with a cupola. The side view, this is an overhang, the existing deck, which kind of reaches halfway through the house. The existing house does have divided lights on all windows and doors to the outside. And again, just the other side view with the back side of the garage, which has a dormer at the top with a small exercise room above it. So if we scroll down to our proposed elevations, what we're proposing to do is expand the house out to, actually, let me go to the plans because I think that will be a little clearer before we skip on to the elevations. So we can see in the site plan, it might be a little bit clearer. Sorry, just bear with me. The hatched areas here are where we're proposing to expand. So this is the driveway from 20 Cary Lane, and this is the garage. We will have to go for a variance for the garage because we are encroaching in on the front setback slightly. So here where the existing garage is currently a 2-bay garage, we would like to expand it to a 3-bay garage. To the south side of the house, or sorry, excuse me, to the north side of the house, we are looking to bump out that house on the basement level and the first floor, an additional 6 foot out. So this is 6 feet from the existing facade. And then on the
thing to
floor out the primary bedroom, it would be a balcony.
What's that?
I'm sorry, can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah.
Natalie, Richard Vale, can you mute yourself, please?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, thank you.
And then out the back of the house, we're looking to expand and enhance the kitchen living space. So this hatched area out the back is bumped out about 8.5 feet towards the rear of the house. And then towards the south side of the house, because this is our septic area, we're looking to bump the house out on the 2nd floor only. And that would be an additional just under 5 feet. It's about 4'10" would be our bump out. And that's to enhance the 2 bedrooms, the girls' rooms, the daughters' rooms, to make them a little bit more spacious and a little bit more user-friendly. And then along with these bump outs, we're proposing a couple of box bay windows to kind of give the house some added character. So I'm going to scroll down now to the elevations to try and point out these sort of small gestures that we're proposing, but that we feel will give the client a lot of added value to their existing space. So here in the front elevation, this is the bump out where we're proposing to come out at the basement level and the first floor. So expanding an existing living room space and dining room space, and creating a little sort of mudroom area on the basement level. And then off of the primary bedroom up here would be an open balcony. The second floor windows are all going to be replaced, but in existing locations. So trims and details will remain the same here. And we're proposing Marvin Ultimate windows, just to keep in character. And again, like I said, we're proposing cedar shape for the front of the house. And so in the case to sort of help us with this bump out and not make it feel like kind of a thumb added to the existing front facade, we are proposing to extend the existing covered porch, keeping similar details, railing details, column details, and then also proposing to relocate the front door to centralize it within the house and on the front porch to kind of add to that symmetry of the existing house. And again, with the existing garage, we're bumping it out into a 3-bay, but we are trying to mirror the same architectural language that's existing. So these are the existing 2 bays of the garage, and this is the 3rd that we are proposing to add, and then relocating the cupola to be centered on that and to keep with the existing character and architectural language of the house. And in this view, you can see this is where we're bumping out on the basement level, adding sliders. And then here is a living room and dining room. And then we're also proposing to extend the existing deck so that the dining room area has access outside, to kind of, again, emphasize that indoor-outdoor living experience that the client's looking for. Here you can see where we're bumping out. This is kind of the biggest bump out, really for the kitchen area and for the primary bathroom above it. And this is about 8.5 feet from the existing facade, as we're recommending, trying to keep in line with the existing roof lines and the existing roof pitches. And then here you can kind of see a side of one of the bay windows that we're proposing. So then if we scroll down, this is the side of the house. So this is the back of the garage, and we're looking to expand the existing dormer to extend over the proposed 3rd bay window as well, just to continue that existing language. And then,
what's the cupola centered on?
It's centered in between the garage door. It's in the middle of the garage.
Okay, it makes sense on this side.
And then here we are, so on this side, we are only bumping the house on the 2nd floor level because of the septic. So there will be an overhang. So we would like to sort of enclose the structural columns as required. The structural engineer is currently working on his drawing. So we will need to revisit this once we figure the exact locations of where the structural supports need to go. But we're kind of looking at possibly having outside storage and kind of encasing these columns so they don't look like it's just on a bunch of posts. We want it to look purposeful and integrated into the existing house as much as possible. And then up here is one of the box bays that we're proposing off of one of the daughter's bedrooms. It enhances her bedroom. It has like a nice little window seat for them to hang out in. And also we feel like it adds a lot of architectural character and sort of 3 dimensions to the facade.
So on this facade, can you tell me what's the different planes that I'm looking at, like starting with the closest one?
Sure. So the closest one would be the garage. So the garage and the garage and the 2nd floor of this house will be pretty much on the same plane.
Okay.
And the house will step back below on the 1st floor. So this is a living room, and that will step in, which is the existing.
How many feet?
This one is 4 foot 10, so just under 5 feet.
And then the shed that you're with the horizontal siding, is that coplanar with the bump out?
This is yes, and that's just an exterior storage.
Right.
Some louvered panels. It's not living space per se. And this is a way to try and conceal these vertical supports that we're going to need. And then here we are proposing also, the client really wanted to have a covered porch area off of the living room. So here is a raised seam metal roof, just to allow them to have some dining space with underneath the covered porch. And here you can also see where we're out upstairs and at the kitchen level as well, and another little bay window on the second floor level. And if we go to the rear of the house to kind of look at how that bump out at the kitchen and second floor work out, we're proposing these 2 bay windows to again try and add some dimension to the bump out, and we're keeping the existing kind of dormer language that's there as well to level. We have a row of 5 windows here, and that's because the kitchen worktop is on the other side of this. Client really wanted to bring in those views of the pond and really tried to allow light and sight from the backyard into the kitchen area. And then here, these proposed 3 sliders are going into the new dining area, and new sliders into the existing living area. There's existing doors here. We're just changing those out so it's consistent throughout. And here you can see the level where the dining room bumps out, and then upstairs on the second floor where the terrace comes off the primary bedroom. And the deck would extend to the end of the house and come down and kind of return. I think other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything, but really it's a series of these bump outs. We're trying to keep the character and enhance the character of the house. But these little sort of gestures add a lot to the living space within the house for the client. We're maintaining the 3 bedrooms. We're not proposing any new bedrooms. It's really just about the function of the interior space, the circulation.
Can you just go to the west elevation, please?
The west elevation?
There.
West is a front, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So there are no windows in that. That's a kitchen and to the left.
No, there's a mud room down below and it's the living room. So basically on all your bump outs, you're not putting windows on the sides.
All right, good night.
Is there a reason for that? Because it looks very blank. You've got, windows punched through all over the facade, and you've done a great job, creating articulation throughout, but then suddenly you have this box of what you're doing, and it just looks out of character with the rest of the house.
It's just it's on the west and the north.
Right here. Yeah, no, I do see what you mean. And I think that's why we extended the covered porch was really to try and kind of soften that transition between the extension and the existing house. It really has to do with the interior living space. This is a living room. Let me see if I can go, that might be a little bit clearer. It was a little bit of a struggle of sort of window placement and kind of how to make it look purposeful. So currently we have those windows centered with the upstairs.
If I may add something, I'm also with Garrison Foundry and Natalie on the call. There's an existing pine tree there at the corner of the house that stretches up to the roof line of the second floor. And we hope to keep back during construction. So that's also why there are no windows right there on that 6-foot addition.
Well, you've got a double window on the left part, on the porch right there in that room, no, the other side. So couldn't you put a singleton window to the right and somehow fit it in that space?
Right outside of that is where the tree is. So there'd be no view at all. And that part of the bump out is
Well, you're gonna,
The tree's
how
probably
close-
gonna
Tree's gonna
die.
die, yeah.
When you dig that foundation, that tree's gonna die.
You're gonna plant a new tree. It'll
I
take a
think
while
it
to
really
grow.
just kind of came with how it was working with the existing windows. I do see
Can you go to the mudroom below that?
yes. Let's see. So here we have a bench.
I mean, that looks like a perfect place for a window too.
Okay, well we can do a study and see just to make sure it doesn't get too narrow.
And then if you can take a look at the north elevation as well, so on the other side of that, because that's even a bigger kind of blank. Yeah, right there.
Oh, along here.
Yeah.
I think this is because this is where the hood is for the kitchen, for the cooktop. Layout, it's kind of an L-shaped cabinetry layout, and this is where the hood is going.
And upstairs?
And upstairs is the primary bath, and there is floor to ceiling along.
I'm sorry, floor to ceiling?
Like cabinetry. For storage.
Let's see. All right, and then I have a question in the same vein on the east elevation. So what's happening in that storage? Is that set back? Is that flush? You know,
It's flush with the second floor above it. It was it's really just an attempt to hide the structure that will be needed because it's cantilevered. The 5 foot and of the first floor, and it was really just outside storage. You know, rakes and lawnmowers and things like that.
Is there going to be a door there? I see that. You know, diamond line.
There's a double blind door. Yeah.
So is that going to have a frame? What's that going to look like?
No, it's just like a blind door, just so it looks panelized and kind of.
Oh, you're going to make it look panelized.
Yeah.
Okay, and then and on the east facade, can I go to the east facade? Yeah, that big blank space to the left in the basement, is there a reason that doesn't have windows like it does to the right? Is that under a porch? Is that buried?
Yeah, it's under the deck and it's not livable space. It's just the foundation for the new.
Okay. It's pretty. Space. Here's the first floor. Where's the deck? Which deck is it? So this is under here.
What are you?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The deck that's covering where that facade was blank.
That's all back here. This big deck here.
So on the 3D rendering, you do have windows there, but.
Okay, I'll go back to that presentation to So here we're kind of looking at the back. This is the bump out of the kitchen and the second floor space. The primary bathroom is here. This is the existing.
It looks better with the one, even with the one window on that bump out.
Oh, here. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did remove those because of the hood. Is located on that wall in the kitchen.
Yeah, you might want to consider doing something above that, where there's supposedly going to be floor to ceiling cabinetry. It's a pretty big primary bathroom that looks like it has some kind of walk-in closet type component to get in there. It probably has plenty of storage already. That could be an opportunity to find a window.
I'm a little confused with the south elevation. Maybe a line is missing. So that's the back of the garage. No, that's the north. Yeah, right there. Between the house and the garage, there's two different roofs, but it looks like they should be on different planes. Like the door plane should be different or something. I'm not sure what's going on there.
There is, it does step back a little bit.
But it doesn't show up on your roof plan, is why I'm confused.
It stopped short, so I think it goes in line. We are changing the roof line there a little bit.
Yeah, but on your roof plan, it's going all the way.
US, yeah, no, you're correct.
So you would be blocking the door, I think.
I think it would.
It's just like you got to always make the roof work. So see, it doesn't match your plan at all.
Our roof plan isn't correct because it needs to stop short. So I think it will go in pitch with the garage or very similar pitch of the garage, but it needs to stop short.
So there'll be two different pitches, like you have that line between.
Correct, yeah.
But then you have this giant crown molding eave picking up that roof. I'm not sure where that's landing. There should be a line there, I think, at the end, right there.
Right, yes.
There should be a line down, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct.
All right, so we always like to have accurate roof plans, elevations, and I know you've done a great job, but if something's missing, we can't really judge it, so.
And just while we're looking at this, on that exercise room or whatever's above the garage, so the three windows towards the right are existing and you're adding a fourth that's a little bit off to the left. Can we not fit a fifth in between the two? Is there something in that space preventing that?
There's an existing storage space that I think we're hoping to maintain. Scroll up to the plan. This is the existing space, so we were kind of really adding on from the back of that storage space. So we were trying to sort of maintain this existing workout space and just add on to it if possible.
That doesn't bother me so much. Can we summarize?
Not any more than what we.
Okay.
Okay, so, just clean up for accuracy, I guess the roof plan is all right.
And then try to figure out something in the, are we agreeing?
In the kitchen?
No, just the blanket, the blank.
Oh, the blank of the dining room.
Yeah.
So are you willing to add, or, if you want to add a window up there in the dining room and something below, you can get yourself approved tonight. If you want to think about it and come back, you can do that as well.
Well, and the same for the
Well,
rest of
no.
that.
So what
No,
are we
and
asking
the
for?
same issue for the rest
Yeah,
of
on the
that.
other side. And also, shouldn't the posts in the back be complete if they're gonna cover it? They're still kind of figuring that out, aren't they?
Yeah, we'd like
By
to
the
see that.
shed. So I think that needs to be worked out completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you
Because I
hear
think she
that?
said the engineer was still working on that.
Okay, sorry, do you mind if I just kind of recap the window locations? You're looking for possible window locations here at the front of the house on the first floor and within the basement location?
Yeah, ideally, yes.
Okay.
Ideally, but
And then,
one.
and then as well as, were you okay, because this is our range wall within the kitchen area, leaving this blank, but you wanted us to revisit the primary bathroom, adding a window?
Yes, I think that would help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just a window on the second level.
Yeah, I mean, ideally both, but if you do one, I think that'll help a lot.
Is the hood gonna exhaust out the side right there? Of that behind, I mean, where does the hood exhaust?
You got a grill.
Does it go to
instead
the
of a
roof or
window?
does it go out the side of the the
I
side of
think
that
ideally
elevation
we'd
right
like it
there.
to go up. It really shouldn't be exhausting out because this out onto the deck space.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
be looking to go up.
Okay.
And it's a built-in hood, so ideally, if we can get away with not.
Well, you gotta build a a chute, a shaft going up from the second floor for it.
Yeah. Okay, so a window on the second floor in the primary bath. And then you were, let's see, and then
And just finish up the detailing.
shed, the exterior shed, is that right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and fix up the area to the left of that, yeah.
And then
Whatever,
update the roof plan. Okay.
whatever, well, also the elevation is not right either.
Right, yeah.
And you said that you may, did she mention that already? That you may put you may wrap the posts? Did you say that you're still considering doing something to that area?
Yeah, I think the idea is to hide it. It would all be finished in the same color, which I know in the elevation it looks like the post is still kind of sticking out. We could either wrap the post so that it's all very consistent with the horizontal lines of the paneling, or I guess that would be the easiest way. I think we were thinking of finishing it all in the same color so that it would kind of just disappear.
The windows are all 6/1s, are the glass doors all clear with no grills at all?
Correct, yeah. To try to really enhance the views out the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's a nice project.
Yeah, it's
It
real
looks very
nice. Real nice.
Okay, so
So you'll automatically be placed on the January 3rd meeting as long as I get your plans by the 27th.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Christmas.
it's a nice project.
Thank you.
So much more thinking than the first.
Light years.
The next application is 34 Orchard Ridge Road. Hi,
Good evening.
anyone else with you, Richard?
I don't think so. My client Joanne Wen was going to join, but I guess she's not has joined yet. Anyway, so I think it's just me.
Justin, who are you with? Hello, Justin? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have the key?
Yeah.
Okay, close the door.
You can start if you want to share your screen.
Okay. Yeah. I'll get that on there. Can you guys see my screen? Or?
No.
Oh. Let me try again. Let's see. Meeting. Guys, trying to. Did that work, or?
You're starting.
You're seeing it now, or?
It's just loading.
Oh.
Do anyone lose power here? We did. Our side always gets it.
I lost two trees went down. Put a generator in a couple years ago.
I remember when you put it, what?
Never gonna lose power again.
We have a small generator.
Just lost your screen.
Sold it and went. It'll be fun. I remember when you put it.
Yeah, not sure why it's that.
You brought it to the board.
You had to get,
You had to get approved.
Yeah, one of the, I needed,
Well, we have the plans here and we have the pictures. Do you just want to present and let us know what you're doing?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure why it keeps crashing on me for some reason.
Just tell us what sheet you're speaking to.
Are you frozen?
Appears so.
I think so.
Uh-oh.
Or he's really still.
Yeah, he's.
They're adding a one-story primary bedroom and bathroom addition.
If you can hear us, maybe you can get on your phone.
I hear you now. I'll
right,
try one more
there you
time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize for not being able to share my screen. I'm not sure what is happening.
Right.
But yeah, so we I'll walk through it. We're adding it's a one-story addition off the south side of the house. It's going to house a primary bedroom and bath. And existing now, there's as if you see on the existing south elevation, there's a bump out that's a one-story. So basically, we're extruding that bump out to get the space we need for the primary bedroom, and windows and siding, everything we're matching what exists there currently. So that's the plan would be to kind of match all the trim details, siding, the roofing as well. It would be a kind of a gentle pitch hip roof, which is what is currently there, but it would just be more elongated with this addition.
Where's the third side of this? Here, there he is. Okay.
So it's just that first story extrusion is the project?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, there's no other proposed work around it, just the addition. Up above, we are changing a window on the second floor. It's a bathroom, so we're shrinking the size of the window in order to make the roof fit. So,
is there any way to get a window between the two windows on the extension on the front elevation, east?
That's right now. There's a walk-in closet kind of going through there. Let me look at it. It's a the primary bedroom. Yes, it's a shower and the toilet there.
It is existing.
No, I'm talking about this one.
We're talking about the front side.
You're talking about the shower.
Are you talking about the north elevation?
You have three windows in your plan. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're talking about the shower.
Oh, it's not the walk-in closet. It's the shower.
East elevation. Sorry about that. The front elevation. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. It's the shower.
Yeah, that's the issue there.
Oh.
What happens if you put a window smack in between those two? Where does it land?
It would be kind of looks like it would straddle the shower and where the toilet is.
Wait, that little small square window high, it's nice to have in the shower. Maybe it is the same point.
Yeah, it kind of hit right where the shower the glass enclosure for the shower is. If it was, I just kind of drew it on my CAD. It's right in the middle there. If it was smack in the middle between the two windows.
If you put a high window centered on the toilet and then a high window in the shower and then just connect it with some trim details so it looks like a grouping of windows, is that possible to get it centered?
That's probably possible. I can discuss it with my client too, but I think you're right. That would be possible to do something like that.
We just kind of frown upon blank walls and especially on the front elevation.
Right.
Yeah, it can be.
Okay.
I mean, that's my only comment. I think other than that, it's pretty clear.
Okay. Yeah, I can do a drawing of that and can present it to my client. And
Sure. Come back next time for approval. But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Richard, our next meeting is the 3rd. I'm sorry, Sean.
No, that was it.
Our next meeting is the 3rd. So if you can get it to me by the 27th, I'll add you on the agenda.
7. Okay. Great.
Yeah, 10 is Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, and is that
That's gonna be a
that's
long.
it for now?
Is that the only comment?
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Only comment.
That's it.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You too.
It's only 2 approval and 3 coming back. So we'll have a
Yes.
long meeting.
Yeah, 3 looks better. 3 looks better.
That's good.